Greetings, blessings to everyone out there. This is RJ, as you know, with the Mountain Sage channel. So, I still haven't put up. I made a speech the other week the to our Cabin Owners Association yearly meeting at the Forest Service Ranger Station, because I found out that they're spraying herbicide to deal with invasive weeds along the Forest Service roads, and also in and around our cabins. We have some tracks. We're in a gated community, and we have, each cabin's like on a half acre. Mine's got actually a little bit more, so I don't know, a neighbor on one side of me. But it's a nice, beautiful little, kind of magical little place. It's a small community of cabins, about 70 cabins. Each, like I said, on about a half acre. Some have more space, some have a little less between the cabins. Anyway, so they have been also spraying that in here along our tracks, along the little roads inside of our cabin community. And us being, we eat organic, and we try to do things the way that God intended. We try to eat healthy. We try to simplify the way we eat. We avoid fast food. We avoid supporting factory farms, and we vote with our dollar. So I had so this past year I've been working with the botanist for the U.S. Forest Service, coming up with ideas. So basically, there's only one plant that they spray, and I convinced her to allow us to dig it up. So I had a work party with some of the other cabin owners. We went out and we dug up false brome. It's called false brome. It's an invasive grass, and we dug it all up so it doesn't invade the understory and threaten native plant life. And so that's great, because I understand, the Forest Service doesn't have a lot of money. They have to do what they got to do to try to treat, hundreds of miles of roads, of Forest Service roads. But I've been fortunate enough to actually speak with the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture worker, and last year, and that's what got us started on this. She's the one who does the spraying. The botanist for the Forest Service is the one who she heads all of the projects regarding, plant life, invasive weeds, and so on. Anyway, so I was fortunate enough to be able to speak with her last year, and then again recently. And I was very pleasantly surprised to hear, because I told her I was concerned because of Roundup having some pretty big, Monsanto having some pretty big lawsuits for their product Roundup, glyphosate being one of the main ingredients in there. And I told her I was concerned for her safety, wildlife, pets, animals, children, so on. And they're not using Roundup, they're just using glyphosate itself. She feels pretty confident, based on some Oregon State University studies and reviews of different studies that have been done on glyphosate. She feels that at the level that they're using, and they dilute it a lot, and she's very careful to spot spray, she doesn't feel it's going to cause her cancer, or necessarily cause anyone else cancer. I'm still skeptical about that, but anyway, so moving beyond that, I've been working with them, so that we don't have to spray inside where our cabins are, and it's been pretty successful. Praise God, praise the Great Spirit, praise Mother Nature for allowing it to be fruitful. So, a few revelations from this United States Department of Agriculture worker. She doesn't only work with the Forest Service, she works with the USDA on many different projects, and she does a lot of the herbicide spraying of invasive plants on Forest Service roads and so on. And so some of the revelations, we had a really nice conversation. I caught her, drove up the road because I wanted to speak with her again. Anyway, and I caught her on her break, and we had a really, really nice and enlightening conversation, where she made a few statements to me. So one is she doesn't agree with Monsanto. She doesn't agree with the kind of their Roundup Ready crops, their GMO crops, because they're just ready to, just be doused with Roundup. So she also says that while she doesn't think the application she's using will cause cancer, she did agree that there are studies showing that mainly workers on these farms who are using the big booms and spraying it, and it's getting in the air and all over the place, spraying the Roundup and glyphosate, in these kind of industrial farms, there is a higher level of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. She doesn't agree with the way that glyphosate is used in the agriculture field, in the food agriculture field. She doesn't agree with that. She made that very clear. She also stated that, so when they harvest the crops, it's just something I heard, but I confirmed it through her. When they harvest the crops, there is, so before they grow the plants, they spray the fields with Roundup and glyphosate, and then after, I guess pre-harvest or right at harvest, they spray all of the wheat down with Roundup, glyphosate. They spray it, apparently to dry it out. And I'm just like, what? Are you kidding me? That's poisoning people. I thought that was illegal. No, the USDA said it's okay. So it's like, damn, man. You can see what's happening. It's really hard to see what's happening too, from a bird's eye view. Being a watchman on the mountain, I feel it's my job to look after the earth, to take care of it, to give it, I want it to receive the highest quality treatment, not the cheapest. And so anyway, it was really a nice conversation. It was good to hear it from the horse's mouth. That we are just something's wrong with our food system. I brought up factory farms and talked with her about that, and she kind of agreed with my points that you shouldn't. It's very unsanitary and inhumane to cram animals together in the smallest spaces you can for the highest amount of profit. You make their lives hell. It's a living hell for the animals. It really is. If you've ever seen cows going out to pasture for the first time, you'll never support factory farms again. It's easy to look over it or say it's a hippie movement, but I'm a former Marine, and I'm not okay with injustice of any kind. Once you allow injustice to just happen and you start justifying it in your own mind, we've already condemned ourselves. So vote with your dollar. That's what she was saying, is that's why that's why you should buy organic oats. Avoid those Cheerios unless you want to feed your kids glyphosate. So yeah, she said something that I have said many times, I'm sure, on this channel. Vote with your dollar. She said it, straight out of her mouth, exactly those words. Vote with your dollar. That's the best defense we have against, against the evil works of greed, selfishness, and an unregulated capitalist system which is only focused on consumerism. We devour our planet and don't even have fun doing it. So, man, well, anyway, so those are the revelations from a USDA worker. Man, that's crazy. They just spray the Roundup all over your wheat, all over your bread. So, vote with your dollar. Do what's right. All right. And I'll catch you later. I just wanted to share that with you. Peace.